friends, welcome. My name's Dan. Thanks for joining me for this daily art adventure. This is going to be a very short video. I don't have time to paint right now, but I wanted to go ahead and show you what I'm doing here. This is a painting that I did at a festival 2 weekends ago. This is part of a much larger canvas. The original canvas was 8 feet by 10 feet, and this is the smallest painting. I did 3 paintings on that canvas. The largest one is about 4.5 feet wide and 7.5 feet tall, or 7 feet tall, and then there's a larger one and a smaller one. Anyway, I did 3 paintings that weekend, and this painting, maybe as you can see, did not go well. It was the last of the 3 that I did. By the time I got to this point in the festival, I actually only had 3 hours to do a painting this size, which is not quite enough. For some reason, the other 2 paintings just took me longer than normal. I do this kind of thing all the time and usually don't have this problem, but I did this time. And I am not happy with this painting. And I wasn't sure exactly what was wrong with it. I brought it, as you can see, I cut it, put it on a stretcher, so it's ready to be modified. And here's what I did. I took a picture of this with my camera and sent it to my computer. And in Photoshop, I started to do some tweaking. I had some guesses as to what was wrong with the painting. And you can see here, just real messy, not trying to be perfect. First of all, I want to fix the ratios on that guy. He's got some body issues. He looks worse from here than he does from here. There we go. A tiny bit better, not much. Anyway, so I'm going to fix him. And I decided that this vast expanse of blue, sure, it does lead the eye into the painting, but it's just, there's just too much of it. You could also say it leads you out of the painting. So I've decided to add a figure here, another child standing here. Let me back up a little bit and tell you, I think, how I got in this mess to begin with. I was, at this festival, I was assigned 3 images. I was told what to paint. And the assignment for this was I was to paint the kid zone of the festival. And the day that I had to take the pictures, I didn't have any choice. It was an absolutely cast aluminum sky, just absolutely dull, flat, gray, no nice sun effects at all. It was wonderful for the festival because it was very comfortable for the people, but it was terrible. So there was no sunlight happening at all. That was problem number 1. Problem number 2, don't tell anybody, but I really didn't like the kid zone. I mean, visually, aesthetically, it was just like nothing to paint here. Now, you know, every time I say that, I can think of a whole bunch of really good painters who are better than me, and they could come up with something from that. So that's never, I know for myself, that's never a good excuse. I can never say nothing to paint here, no, because there is something to paint there. You just have to see it. So I took several pictures, and then went on to begin painting. I think the mistake that I made, now, when I'm painting live like this, I don't have time to do a sketch. Some of you would know a no-tan sketch, a value sketch. This would have been a great time to do that because I started painting. I had no enthusiasm for the subject matter. I had no vision for the light effects, which is the most important thing. I had a vague notion about light effects, but not much. So frankly, I just started painting, hoping that something good would happen. Now, you can't believe how many times I do that actually something good does happen. But I feel like today, on this particular day, no, I started painting hoping that something good would happen, and it didn't. So there's a lesson there somewhere, even for me. I only had 3 hours at the end of it. It was a huge rush anyway. So that's my lousy excuse, and I'm sticking with it. Try not to do that. Don't start a painting where you have no vision, no enthusiasm, no zeal, no picture, no idea where you're going, and you just start painting. Not usually a good idea to paint, but that's what I did here, and so I got just exactly what I paid for. Okay, so back to my how to fix it. Took a picture, worked in Photoshop, and again, here's the image, that my Photoshop image. Compare that. It almost lines up, doesn't it, if I hold it just right. So adding this figure, I feel like, now, I mean, of course, I didn't take time in Photoshop to try to make this accurate or realistic. I'll do that in the painting. And I also added another little figure back here, which, see between the kid holding the ball and maybe the dad watching. And I think that will add a little bit too. Besides that, just one, and I'm giving a few other little things, but the main thing is play of light effects. Here I've got in this, I'm going to have real strong light coming here, here, and here, that will finally make the painting, especially right up here, that will finally make the painting start to hang together. The other thing, just one more thing, sometimes if you're ever working on a painting, and again, it's just not cooking, it's not singing, it's not working, it's not doing the job. One of the things you can look at is your similitude, your drawing, your realism. This is sort of a cheap way out. But keep in mind that people, I don't know if you know my box, meaning and history, the meaning end, the realism end of that box. People, human beings, get a kick out of seeing something rendered well. So sometimes I'm willing to sort of cheat as an artist and say, well, it's not a good painting, but if I render this or that or this or that thing in the painting well, people will like it a whole lot more. So I'm going to do a little bit of that. I'm going to render these people a little bit more accurately so that I win points with the viewer. Does that make sense? Now, again, I don't expect that to carry the problem painting. What I expect, what is going to make this painting work is, one, a compositional issue, adding a character here. But the main thing is this light stuff that I did in Photoshop that made me go, oh yeah, now that'll work. So that's the way I feel. Unfortunately, I can't get started painting right now, but that's an explanation and may be helpful to some of you. As I said, hope that helps. Thanks for watching. I'll be back again as soon as I can.